Welcome everybody. It's Vin Robinson here with another community speaker moment. Today's community speaker is very crucial and important. The reason why it is because it takes us a little bit in the past. We're talking about the present and the future on where we're going. And today's program is about Midwest Basketball Lottery Draft Weekend. Moneyball, if you will. It's going to be an exciting time. We're going to be talking about how we can influence and help a lot of student athletes in the junior category. When we come back from this commercial break, we're going to get right into it. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that commercial break. Now, 2022-23 exhibition series year in retrospect was an exciting one. We started out with Army versus Navy, where we were bringing in players from Portland, Seattle area, as well as Vancouver area. We had an opportunity to really get down to the grind and see what we had to offer as we were paying homage. ANAVETS tribute. We were in our 9.0 version of what we were doing. It's so exciting taking part in that as we pay tribute to Veteran Affairs Canada. And immediately following that game, we were planning for future events of what we were going to get into. Every single one of our events that we put on in an exhibition series, we want to play for purpose, for cause. So the next 8 weeks following that happened to be Black History Month, where we got into it. And in the essence of that, we partnered with the American Basketball Association. We brought in the Black Five from the Phoenix area, Tucson Buckets, and it was amazing the show that we were able to put on. Post-COVID, we were able to start playing above the rim again, really connecting, community engagement, which is what it's about, to put it together so that we can engage the community, fanfare, and keep growing the sport, keep growing the business. That's exactly what we were doing. Following that, because we were getting stronger as we grew along, we got into Scholars versus Ballers, Scholars to Ballers, sorry, where we showcased the Midwest Shootout. And we started to get athletes that were coming in from Eastern Canada. We'll get into some of the talent that we had exposed there, but you were really starting to see the mesh that was coming together with all the talent from across North America. As we continued to broadcast back these players, we were growing the platform. As we started with our first exhibition series being the ANAVETS tribute, we winded up in July, the third weekend, in Ottawa for the Capital Classic. And what a terrific ride that was. So we had that opportunity when we brought in some of the players originally from the Tucson Buckets to participate. And they've been helping grow this brand. So I'd like to talk a little bit about some of those players. We had Jatai Gonder that came into Winnipeg as a player leading the charge, as he does for the Tucson Buckets. But this year he'll be taking a little bit more of a front office role, where he will be helping to guide some of these players to be in a better position, these junior athletes. High-flying acts such as William Spann, Irv Felder, and, I can't say enough about the pace that some of these players were playing at, slashing, doing all types of things throughout the course of the weekend. Amazing. Ajay Jang, big boy down low, but once again, being able to handle the ball and bring it up the court. So there's a lot of things that were happening with these athletes. And Mr. Ingram. Mr. Ingram was another guy that really surprised us because he was getting aggressive. He would do things that were uncanny and go for the ball and get his points in different ways. So that type of play was impressive, and it gave us the opportunity to grow. Now, when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to show how the buckets have helped expand the program, and two players that we really want to talk about as we do that. So, once again, thank you for staying with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that break. Now, before we went away from the previous conversation that we were having, we were focusing on the ABA and our partnership with the Tucson Buckets. Now, Danny Gonzalez is another player that is going to be coming up from the Arizona area, in addition to Devin Smith. Now, let's face it, the talent just keeps getting faster. The play keeps getting bigger, and this is what we wanted to engage. You know, pre-COVID, we were a league. We were Midwest Basketball League. Unfortunately, COVID does a few things to shut people down, slow people down, and we're slowly gaining back our momentum. And it's an exciting time. Now, out of that regime, that Tucson Bucket regime, there is Lou Barham that, you know, he's one of those players that in 2016, 2017 was playing high above the rim, and he's exactly the type of player that every team needs. So by participating in these exhibition series, definitely a player that we're excited to be bringing back to the program. And he was doing battle with one of our players in Winnipeg that I can't say enough about. Now, this athlete was actually our first player to ever get drafted in our inaugural year of 2015. His name is Zyko West. Now, when you want to talk about battle of two titans that can get down the court, slash, shoot, positionless players, Lou and Zyko were going at it. And I'm excited to see these two players coming back to the program as we can highlight this through our lottery draft this year. So, without a doubt, as we focused on where we've been, we know that we're projecting to somewhere great moving forward. Right after this commercial break, we're going to focus on some of the players that were coming in from out of East, out of the Capital Classic. But we don't want to forget some of the players that did participate in the shootout that really made Midwest basketball stand out. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Vin Robinson here. Now, in our 2022-23 season, we had a couple outstanding players come in. Tony House with the CT East program was able to put together something that was terrific for us. And we brought in players such as Prince Kaminga, that came in from York University. Now, Prince was a recipient of one of our Scotiabank RESP program contributions, and he was a big boy playing down low. I mean, he was really punching dunks and doing things that was unexpected. So we would always welcome Prince back to the program, in addition to a player that played out of TMU, which I believe is in Florida at this point. Ankit Chudari really put on a show. And we know that Ankit could shoot out the gym. So definitely a player that in the off season, coming back home to Canada, we'll welcome him with open arms. But another player that was putting on a shooting expedition from the same school, TMU, was Simon Chamberlain. And Simon will be returning to the program. We expect to see him doing some amazing things once again. And, you know, let's just face it, the Golden Horseshoe in Canada produces a number of amazing athletes. The list goes on and on. I believe that there's 2 players from Winnipeg currently that were in the Manitoba Drive program that are currently playing at Carleton University, my former alma mater. And, I'm tipping my hat and wishing these players all the best. With that being said, we were so impressed with the players from out east. We had to take the opportunity to go to the Capital Classic and use this platform as our opportunity to be recruiting players. So all throughout the course of the year, we have exhibition series. But when we put a team together and go into Ottawa, we're really looking to try to win this tournament. I believe that this year coming up will be one of our strongest years, and I'm looking forward to seeing what fruit is bared off the tree this year. Now, out of the opportunity that was created of the Capital Classic, we are looking forward to seeing these players come to Winnipeg for the Army-Navy ANAVETS tribute in November. Now, Michael O'Toole, fabulous point guard, has played professional before and will be coming to Winnipeg to display some of his play and wanting to get back to that professional rank. In addition to Joel McKendy, Joel put on a terrific expedition in Ottawa. Very impressed with him, tipping my hat to that individual. Jerome Kingsley is a player that you definitely don't want to miss out of the GTA area. And then we have Elijah Brown and Jerome Brown. The proof is going to be in the pudding with these players, and you're definitely going to see why. But as these players come to Winnipeg, they're going to have an opportunity to showcase, and nobody's starting any further ahead than anybody else. So the lottery draft, as we talked about, is going to be an opportunity for everybody to springboard and get an equal opportunity. So we'll be right back after this commercial break, and we're going to get into some of the honorable mentions that are local that we feel that really should be getting looks. But, you know, our program, Midwest Basketball, is going to provide that platform for these athletes. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're here talking about lottery draft weekend, Midwest Basketball 2023-24 season. And currently we're focusing on our honorable mentions, our local players. One player that definitely we need to stay focused on is Elijah Delamonte. Elijah is above the rim player, had a terrific season playing at Sturgeon Heights. Can't say enough about this player. We'll see what he has to offer coming in the Army-Navy game coming up shortly. In addition to Zion Natis, Zion, amazing player with roots from the GTA area, now residing in Manitoba. Fabulous player. Also, Noah Robinson, coming out of St. James Collegiate, having a fabulous season. Can't say enough about this young combo guard. In addition to Curious Lathlin. Curious could play anywhere. So I'm very interested to see what he has to offer this upcoming season. In order to know how the flow of this lottery draft is going to go, we're going to get into a couple things here very quick and very easy. It's the breakdown, the rules. Now, there's a portion that Midwest Basketball has to do in order to pull this off, to be successful and create a good platform for you. And there's something that you have to do in order for us all to be successful. Now, in order to do this, once your name has been listed and called, as it has been already as part of this lottery draft, we talked about the players, you have a commitment. Now, your commitment is $200. And that $200 you have to send in prior to travel. This could be done by e-transfer. Now, this is essentially for a couple of things. This is your security deposit on your hotel room before you travel. And in addition, this is also your fee that you are paying as an agency fee in case you get discovered in order to platform. When you're done playing your final game throughout the course of the season, your deposit of your $200 will be released back to you. So every time you play in an exhibition series, it's not you pay the $200 and you take it. What you're doing is you're paying your $200 and you're keeping that commitment of that $200 in for insurance, liability, and we'll also have you sign a waiver in case you get injured. So that's something that we want to focus on. Now, our commitment from the Midwest basketball side of things is as such. We cover your flight from your departure area. So not so much the travel from your house to the airport, but what we do cover is the flight to Winnipeg, return. And we'll do that on a discount airline, typically Swoop, if they're still around, or Flair, Lynx, or WestJet, one of those groups. And we have to book these flights about 4 weeks in advance. So we need to know your commitment of play. It's very important. So when you commit that you're going to play, we have reserved a spot for you in order to be there. And we expect you to be there. It's part of your contractual agreement. Now, typically in the pros, what happens is that you get signed when you get brought in for a 10-day contract. And if we like you, we keep you for another extended 10-day contract. And now you've made the team. I want everybody to understand and let this be clear that every time that you play, you're only as good as your last game that you showcase. People in the community, to represent your family, to represent your businesses, to represent anything that you're connected to out there in a positive light, and represent Midwest basketball in a positive light, because we are broadcasting across the country. Now, on top of just the travel or the flight, once you arrive to Winnipeg, our shuttle bus will be picking you up at the airport. We'll be taking you to your lodging so that you can get settled. We'll be providing you 3 meals a day until your departure on regular eating schedule, 9 a.m., noon, typically around 6 o'clock again if we're not playing. If we're playing at 6, then that's going to get pushed off till after the game. Now, on this first lottery draft, just to make the playing field even, we are going to provide every single player that participates $100 per diem just for coming into Winnipeg. So it's no money out of your pocket. You get an opportunity to travel. You're fed. You get your transport. You maybe even get an opportunity to see some of the local talent and sites that our city has to offer. And you get a little bit of money in your pocket. How great is that? On your second visit, coming back to Winnipeg, we're going to up the ante, and this is what I call Moneyball. So we're going to have particular tiers that are set in place. So if you show out, then we'll have a tier for your MVP that will be able to receive a $250 RESP contribution towards your schooling. And then we'll have tiers underneath that for $100 contributions that you will receive for RESP contribution. I think that this is very important. So we're going to have the pay structure that we will put out for every showcased event that we do, so that you know how much money you potentially are going to be playing for. And I'll just like you to understand that it's all here for you. So we are really giving you a crash course here in Midwest basketball, the etiquette of sport. We're broadcasting it, giving you quality film footage. We'll be giving you quality recorded interviews. And in addition to that, you get per diem. So this is all for your small contribution of your $200, which will be returned to you at the end of the day, or your final game. Whenever you decide to walk away, if you don't want to continue to play in your exhibition series, you'll be credited back. Now, when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to get into the ANAVETS tribute a little bit more, and then we're going to focus on some of the perks that we have in this upcoming season. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that commercial break. Now, we're so happy that we're going to be kicking off basketball season because we have a lot to remember. And we are always paying homage and tribute. We love to kick it off with ANAVETS tribute. So November 10th, 11th, 12th, we're going to have a fantastic weekend of high-flying players that are going to be coming in from all across North America, staying in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and getting an opportunity to participate in some of the great things that our city has to offer, our great province of Manitoba. Now, on top of that, we're giving opportunity for community engagement. So anybody that has served or is currently serving for Veteran Affairs Canada will get opportunity to come watch the game, comp at no charge. On top of that, if they can't make it to the game, we'll give them an opportunity to watch the game online at no charge. We just want to help relieve PTSD and just make people laugh. You know, laughter is such a great thing in life, and we tend to get away from it. So by us doing these types of events, it really helps to bring cheer. And that's what leads us to our next point here. You can't have sport without entertainment. And that's why I like to focus on this next piece. This year, in our 2023-24 season, we're going to be welcoming back an upgraded version of our cheerleaders. We have a dance team. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We have a dance team, and we're going to be showing what we have to offer come time of Army Navy in November. And every single exhibition series that we host, we're going to be adding something to make it a little bit bigger and better for your pleasure and enjoyment. We're really family engaged. We're all about local Winnipeg, but we hug the country. So we want to show you some of that hospitality. So come to Winnipeg and enjoy that time with us. You know, it's been a terrific opportunity giving you some insight into lottery draft weekend and how we're going to be setting up Moneyball in order to enrich you this year. But I believe that the relationship is symbiotic, because when we give good energy, we're going to get great energy in return, which means that we're going to be putting quality basketball out there on the hardwood this year for you. This has been a terrific show, episode of Community Speaker, probably one like no other. Typically, we get around the city and we focus on businesses, and we help promote those businesses. But this one was really about us. This one was really about us being internal, but also being openly transparent to the community and saying, we've got the best basketball. And what we need is for you guys to come out and enjoy it. And we're going to show you how. You could log on to coasttocoastsports.net for finding ways to engage the community at no charge. We're here for you with our nonprofit platform. This is Vin Robinson signing off from Lottery Draft Weekend 2023, and looking forward to what we have to offer coming up in this season. We'll see you at ANAVETS Tribute in November.